Hey everyone, Scott here from Classic Elite, and today I'm going to be taking a look at the digital version of the Atari Video Computer System Encyclopedia Volume 1. This is a book by Derek Slaton, and I have really enjoyed it so far. It's laid out really well, I've enjoyed the writing, and I'll get into some more details here in a little bit as far as why I really like this book. Now I'm reviewing the PDF version, which is $9.99 through the website that I'll have linked in the description. It's actually thevgatv.com. Also, you can get this through iTunes. It is $12.99 on iTunes, and if you get a hardcover copy through Amazon, it'll run you $50. Now, I don't have a copy of the hardcover, so I can't comment on its quality and whether or not it's worth $50, but my gut tells me that it probably is because the PDF version is such high quality. So the book starts off with an introduction from Derek, and it's a really thoughtful piece, letting people know where he's coming from, why he wrote the book, and also giving shout-outs to people that contributed from Atari Mania, Atari Age, Whitney Hill, who did his proofreading, and also Darren Doyle, who did a really good job designing the book. So this volume is going to be covering games from A to somewhere in the D range. There are a lot of games covered in this book, and the first one is Decathlon. The last one is Double Dragon. What's cool about Double Dragon is I had no idea before getting this book that there was even a port of Double Dragon on the 2600. Now, based on the information and screenshots that I saw, it doesn't look like I would enjoy it very much. I have a really strong nostalgic tie to the NES version of Double Dragon, but that's not what we're here to talk about. We're here to look at this book and give you my thoughts on it. So, as I mentioned, the first book is Decathlon, and let's cover a few things about what you're going to get from an information perspective. First, you're going to get a title of the game, and then also you're going to get the publisher, the release date, and also what's great is the programmer. If you're not aware, back in the day, Atari wouldn't credit their programmers in the games, so there were no credits like there are nowadays. So these programmers that made a lot of these great games didn't really get the credit that they deserved, so it's great to see that Derek has that involved. Also, if you look on the bottom of the screen, it lets you know the controller type and how many players can play in the game. So once you're done reading about the game, you can move over to some screenshots. And inside of these screenshots, you'll see gameplay footage and all of that, but also there's some extra materials that Derek was sometimes able to dig up. For example, if we zoom in here, here's an old ad from a catalog for Decathlon, and if you zoom in, you're able to read the ad. It's clearly from a scan, which is cool, but it was still cropped really nicely. And if you look here on the bottom, Derek actually has pictures of patches in here, which is cool. I'll get to why the patches are cool here in just a second. But when it comes to showing off the game, here in Decathlon as the example, you see someone doing a high jump, you see them throwing the joust, the hurdles, all that kind of stuff. Now here's where the patches come into play. This is the instruction manual, and in the manual, those patches are actually referenced. So it just shows the amount of detail that Derek went to actually present these games in the way that they should be. The 2600 is a really cool system. Yes, it was very primitive, but most of the games are such a small amount of information, it's amazing that they were able to make anything anyways. So let's take a look here at the manuals that are scanned in. And if you notice, there's a little bit of pixelation on this digital version when it comes to the manuals, but it's still very legible. And when you go all the way out, it's very clear that these weren't necessarily meant to be combed through with a fine-tooth comb. It really is about presenting what the manual looked like and showing some of the information that he was able to come up with. So if you look here at Adventure, it looks like it starts off with a bit of a screenshot as the left page, and then you have Adventure on the spine there. Again, it shows the... in this one, actually, there's a rarity guide. So AtariAge.com was used for the rarity, and there's more screenshots available. So here's some Tron, and one of the things about the PDF version that I'm struggling with on the Android device is trying to figure out which PDF reader that I should use to view this book. It's a pretty substantial size as far as PDFs are concerned. I think it was around 256 megabytes, and what that does is it prevented me from being able to send this book into my Kindle app. So I have to open it through a file explorer and then open it up via the Kindle app. So I can't really import it there. I wish that I was able to, but it's just a little too big for the 50 megabyte limit that Kindle has as far as importing stuff is concerned. And there are a couple of other PDF readers that have worked well, but I really like the Amazon one the best, so I just sort of deal with it. Now, when it comes to the screenshots, I think Tron's a really good example here. I'm going to zoom in, and you can see a good amount of detail, and take a look at the pixel art that was used. I think that that's a really great thing about the digital version is you can zoom in, and it zooms in quite nicely. So here's some additional information about the Discs of Tron. And yeah, here's another one, Air Raid, which is a incredibly rare game, which is excellent. According to the encyclopedia, only a handful of copies are known to exist, so it's one of the rarest games for the 2600. In fact, if there was only a handful of copies ever to exist, it's one of the rarest games just in video games. So one of the things that I haven't touched on yet is the fact that I really enjoy the way that the book has been written. Not only is it presented well with white text with a bit of a black backdrop shadow that makes it really easy to read. Even when you zoom in, the text only has a slight amount of pixelation, and you're able to get really far in there with the zoom. And when you are removed out from the zoom, there's no pixelation at all, and it's very clear to read. The writing style is great. It's a good mix of basic facts and information, as well as some opinions from Derek. So you're going to be in a situation where he's going to give his opinion. For example, in Air Raiders, it lets you know that it's a not-so-thrilling dogfight game. So that pretty much wraps up the thoughts that I have about the Atari 2600 Video Computer System Encyclopedia Volume 1. I apologize for the watermarks. This was a review copy provided by Derek, so I really appreciate him giving me this opportunity to take a look at his book. I've enjoyed it, honestly, much more than I thought I was going to. I am 32 at the time of recording this, so the Atari 2600 was a little old for me. My wheelhouse from when I was a kid was the NES, but nonetheless, I have thoroughly enjoyed this book, and I would highly recommend it. You can get the digital PDF version at thevgatv.com for $9.99. If you're going to get it through iTunes, it's $12.99. And there's a hardcover version for $50 on Amazon. And at the time of this recording, which is May 5th, 2015, that book is actually available for Amazon Prime. So you can get it shipped to you right away if you're a Prime member. But overall, it's a great book. The aesthetics are nice. The colors are vibrant. It's very easy to read, and one thing that I haven't mentioned yet is that I can't vouch for the facts in the book, but it feels incredibly well researched. So I have to assume that a large majority of all of the facts in this book are correct. You can really sense the passion that he has for the Atari 2600 through this book. If you've enjoyed my commentary, please check out our podcast, classicleet.com. And we talk about new games, old games, what's in the news, that kind of stuff. And if you've also enjoyed this, please make sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel, youtube.com/classicleet. We're also on Twitter and Facebook, so you can get updates from us there as well. I want to thank everyone very much for watching this video, and we will see you soon.